Hey everybody, Larry Lawton here. I got a good video for you today. And it's a touching video because it hits my heart a lot today. Today's Father's Day. And this video is going to be about Father's Day in prison and some of the other things that happen as a father. And you're going to understand what I'm talking about in a minute. Before I get started, please check me out on YouTube, member programs, Patreon. Please check out our podcast, The Real Deal with Larry Lawton. It's going great. You can see the studio is being fixed as I'm doing this. A lot going on. Please subscribe if you haven't passed the word. We really need the support. We want to build this platform that'll be the biggest one for good. All right, we're going to be talking about, first of all, today is Father's Day. I want to wish everybody out there who is a father, happy Father's Day. I also want to wish all you young guys who watch me, I hope you wished your father a happy Father's Day. And I want to tell you something about what we're going to talk about today because it happened to me, and that's what touches my heart so much. You know, when people say to me, I have a fucked up father, I had a fucked up life, I had a fucked up whatever, you know, I get it. Not everything is perfect. Not everybody is perfect. Definitely I'm not perfect, and I don't think anybody is. But, you know, I did an interview with Rome from Sublime. It's Sublime with Rome. And he made a great point. Now, that kid has a hell of a story. Left home as a kid, like 15, 16. He was living in a van, taking showers or baths in condominium pools or this is in California, condominium pools and stuff like that. So he didn't have anything, and he followed his love, he followed his craft. And I asked him during the interview, I said, so how was your father? And he was, my father was a drug addict. My father was, never there. He left us. That's why, he had to leave home, all of that kind of stuff to begin with. And, I asked him, I said, you got bitterness towards that? You have anything? He goes, no, Larry. He goes, as much as a fuck up he was, I have a great relationship with him today. Obviously, that guy got over his problems, and I hope everybody does. But what he told me really struck home because he said, Larry, I learned from his mistakes, not how to treat my kids now. He has a couple of kids, Rome, and he's learned these lessons not by the father telling him what to do, by his father's bad actions showing him what not to do. Because he didn't want to be a father like that, because he himself experienced them feelings and the despair, and he went through all their emotions. He went through the emotions of hate, depression, and oh me, everything. But boy, is this kid tough, Rome. And I think that's very, very important, and it's a great lesson to learn. So no matter how fucked up your father is, and believe me, I know a lot of you guys out there. I talk to a lot of you guys on Discord, or I talk to you guys from messages or emails, and I know what some of you have been through, and I know how hard it is, from abuse to neglect to the gamut, no education, a lot of things. But you know what? There came a time in your life, and I often tell this to young people, it's about 15 years old, when you realize you know what's right from wrong, you got to make the right choice. I don't care if your dad's a drug dealer, your father's in jail, I don't know what the fuck it is. We all have something. Nobody's perfect. I tell kids that they don't come out of their parents with a stamp on their ass saying how to raise them. That just doesn't happen. The good thing about parents, and I'm sure 99.9% of them all, they don't want anything from you. They only want you to be better than they were. They're not out to get anything. There's no motive. There's no, I want to get close to somebody. As a guy who does YouTube and has a pretty big platform, I understand there's always something to gain. And I get fucked. I get screwed over. But you know what? I don't let it bother me. But what hit me in today's Father's Day, first of all, when you're in prison, you're lucky to get a phone call. Because you got to remember, everybody wants their phone call that day. And they'll put on a line, and they do lock it at 15 minutes calls. But think about that. There's only a certain amount of time you're out of your cell. So if the doors are cracked at 6 o'clock and you go to breakfast and nobody's home where you are, or up even, the phones aren't pretty dead. But you start getting to be 8 o'clock to, let's say, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock on Father's Day. The people are lined up. And you don't just go get the fucking phone, and they don't give a shit what story you got, because they have a story. Everybody has a story, and it's not a good one. So I look at that as Father's Day or holidays even. You know, the phones were a death trap, I called them in prison. And not only a death trap from getting stabbed by another inmate, a death trap because you let that phone control your life. Literally, you let that phone control your life. And you think that's the end all. You know, I often tell people, you do what you can, you figure it out, and after you do that, you let the chips fall where they may. Let me give you an example. Larry himself, I try to do the right thing by people, and if I can't, I say, okay, I have to step back, and at a later date, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you could sit down with your son or daughter or grandkids or whoever they are and explain to them what happened, what went through your mind, and expect the negative. Expect the, I still hate you. Expect the, you're a shitty father, and don't take it to heart. Let me tell you what I did with my kids. And I'm very close with my two kids, my daughter Ashley and my son Lawrence, who works here. He's grown up to be a hell of a man, and I'm proud of him. And I'm proud of my daughter too. She's not where we are here yet, but who knows? But I still have father-daughter outings, and we have a whole big outing and stuff. I try to do what I can for time and stuff. But I'll tell you what hurt, and I remember it to this day fucking vividly. My daughter was having trouble. I got out of prison when my daughter was 13 years old. Okay, so she didn't know her father. She only knew her father when her father was in prison. Period. In prison. Well, my daughter comes up to Central Florida, where I live. She's down in Fort Lauderdale. She comes up to Central Florida because she's having a little tough time in school or whatever, and her mother can't handle her a little bit. She was not bad at all, trust me. So my daughter comes up here, and obviously I'm a little bit different of a father. My daughter, I gave her a phone at the time, and it was funny because she's sitting in her chair. She's gonna go crazy with me telling this story. But she says, she's on her phone, and I'm sitting in my chair. I reach over and grab her phone. I know you guys are saying, what are you doing? Well, why would you grab her phone? Well, first of all, it's my phone. I paid for it. I told her the rules. It's my phone. I can check it anytime I want. It's my phone. She's 15 at the time. So my daughter's looking at me, and I open the phone, and you can see her turn pale. I open it, and I see a picture of her breasts, naked breasts. Now, this is my daughter. I'm like, wow, you know, listen to me. All that shit, dick pics and all that, I know they're going on. We all do it. Everybody has it. It's not that. She ends up, I look at her phone, and she knows I'm seeing this. And then I said, Ashley, go to your room. Because I know I can't lose my cool. I know I can't lose my cool as a father. So I look at her phone, and I looked through messages, and I looked at a lot of stuff that shocked me. I shouldn't say it shocked me. Not much shocks me, really. But anyway, I looked at her breast pictures and, you know, tit pictures and naked to a boy, and it's like, oh my God, like, this is my daughter, 15 years old. But then I think back of how I was at 15. I was a fucking nut job. I was a crazy kid. But let me go on. My daughter, I call her out, I don't know, an hour late. I go through her whole phone, text messages, everything. And I know some of you are gonna comment that, Larry, you should never touch that phone, it's privacy. It's not. It's not. I am the responsible parent, period. End of story. Your parents have the right to do that. They pay for it, you're under their roof, that's it. I don't even care if you pay for it. You're under their roof, and they are responsible for you. That's what you guys don't understand. If you do something wrong, your parent can be held accountable. If you don't go to school, they can hold your parent accountable for truancy. And that's facts in every state, in at least the United States. So anyway, I call my daughter back out. I sit her in a chair. Now, I understand punishments. I don't go crazy. You know, the parents that say, you're grounded for a year. That's fucking bullshit. Nobody's ever grounded for a year. That's the biggest, stupidest statement of parents. And they do it because they don't know what else to say. They're so mad. Well, anyway, my daughter comes out, and I sit her down, and I talk very straight. You guys know that. I talk the way I am now on this video as I do at my home or with my friends or whatever. I'm a very open, straight person. And I tell my daughter, I said to her, Ashley, let me ask you a question. You see that picture you sent to that boy? She goes, yeah. I said, you know, when I was your age, we didn't have phones. But when I made it with a girl, when I got a blowjob or I fucked a girl or whatever, all my friends knew about it. I'd tell, oh, she was hot, she was good, she was good, all big tits, she's got a lot of hair, less hair, whatever it was, I talked about it. And every one of those boys that you're sending something to, they're gonna tell their other friends or whatever, oh wow, you know, he's got a big dick, a little dick, big tits, you know, all the shit that goes on that's two friends are gonna tell other people. And I did that. So I told my daughter, I said, Ashley, do you wanna be known as the person who's easy at the school, anybody can just say, she's fucking a slut or whatever? Or do you wanna be known as the girl that's kind of hard to get, or you pick and choose when you do it? You notice I didn't say when to do anything. I'm not a parent who says, oh, you have to be this age or out of my house. You know, it's unrealistic. And I'm not stupid enough to, I'm not dumb enough to believe that, oh, if you tell them no, they're not gonna do it. Come on, guys. You're young people who watch this video, you answer me in the comments on that. I sat down with her and I said, Ashley, when I did this and I fucked this girl, and I'm straight as I am to you guys. And she looking at me and you know, you could see the wheels turning. So I said to her, I said, Ashley, I said, now you're gonna lose your phone for a week. Now I'm also a father who sticks to whatever he says, period, end of story. I don't buy that, go back. And it was funny because my daughter was cleaning the dishes and getting the house vacuumed, and she'd come up, Dad, can I get my phone a little early? I've been working. No. Good job, you're doing great, Ashley, but no. And you know, so my daughter gets the phone back in a week, but before I give her the phone back in 1 week, I said to Ashley, because they'll try you, Ashley, if you do X, Y, or Z, and I catch you, you're gonna lose your phone for 2 weeks. Not a year, not this bullshit that people say. You're gonna lose it for 2 weeks. Because guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna try you again. And here's when they're not gonna try you. So anyway, here I am. She gets her phone back, and you know, things are going good. I'm a very good communicator with people. I like to talk to them. I like to appreciate their brains. I always respect them to understand things, and then I'll explain them if they don't. And I said to Ashley, so Ashley about 6 months later comes to me. She goes, Daddy, she calls me Daddy. To this day, my daughter calls me Daddy. Daddy. Usually when she needs $100 or something. Daddy, can I get $100? Daddy, Daddy, you know, that kind of shit. But no, she calls me Daddy anyway. I said to Ashley, she says, Dad, can I talk to you? I said, yeah, what's up? Always gave time to my children. As much as, you gotta remember, guys, I lost my kid's life. My daughter, I went to prison and my daughter was 15 months old. I got out, she was 13. My son just turned 7, that 2 days later, and I got out and he's 18. So I lost all of those years of my children, and there's nothing that can replace that. There's nothing I can do to replace it. I can't get it back. It's one of the biggest regrets I have in life. Again, I don't regret anything. It is what it is. But I can honestly say it's something that I wish I didn't do. I could have changed, and definitely would change, and everything else that goes along with that. So anyway, here it is. She comes to me about 6 months later. She goes, Daddy, you remember when you talked to me about the phone thing? I said, yeah. I said, how's it going? She goes, good, good. I didn't check her every day. I didn't check her even a week. I don't think I ever checked her again. And she says, I tried to explain this to my friend, right? Her girlfriend. But I don't think I'm doing it right. Can you talk to her? Now, of course, I'm not going to talk to another parent's child without talking to the parent. Now, my daughter knows this, but she also knows how I am. I'm not going to go and tell the parent, because I won't do that. I won't rat on a kid, or a kid comes to me in confidence, I want to keep that confidence, unless it's something serious like suicide or something. Then you have to tell somebody. Everybody has to tell somebody. Anybody tells you they're going to commit suicide or kill themselves, you as a responsible friend or adult or anything, you have to do something. Don't ever take that lightly, please. So anyway, I said, sure, Ashley, I'll talk to the parent first, because now the parents know me. And I'm doing my reality check program at this time. It's pretty big. It's getting there. I've already got a video out, and the book just came out. So I think about right. I'm trying to think of the years. I go talk to the parent, which I know, and they said, Larry, do whatever you want, my daughter. You want to help her? I don't even want to know what it's a fucking about. Just, can you help her? Yes. They know I'm not going to beat the kid or anything like that. I don't do that. So I ended up saying, okay, once they said that, I said, I'll take care of it. It's nothing that's crazy. Don't worry. I would tell you that. And they trusted me. We used to drink, we have, hang out and stuff like that. I went and I sat down the girl, and same kind of speech with Ashley. A little bit different because she's not my daughter. It got through to her. My daughter was so amazed how communications help people. Now I'm thinking of this on Father's Day because here's what my daughter said to me once. So anyway, let me just get that case. So that case works its way out. It's good. My daughter moves back down to South Florida. She can't live in Melboring, as she called it. Melbourne, Florida is Melboring to all the young people, and I get it. So now I'll never forget the hurt that I had. My daughter hurt me in a way, and she knows this to this day. She hurt me in a way that I would have rather got punched right in the face. Bam! I really mean that. I would have rather get punched in the face. I was doing another discipline or some kind of not yelling or whatever you want to call my daughter. I don't yell. I'm not a yeller. People say people from Teresa to my exes, you're loud, man. You got a loud voice, so you project it feels like you're yelling at somebody. And it's just the way I talk. You guys know that. I mean, I'm a storyteller and I'm a loud person. I'm an extrovert. I'm not an introvert. So I'm going to express my feelings, do everything I'm doing. So here I am, my daughter, I'm disciplining her. And now she's about 16 maybe. We're arguing, not arguing. I'm talking, she's listening to a point. And then she said these words to me. She goes, "Where were you my whole life?" Talk about rip my heart. Look, I want to cry. You want to talk about rip my heart out? Where were you my whole life? Obviously, I was in prison. There's no changing that. I can't take that back. I can't say, it was somebody else's fault. It was my fault. It was my choices. It was my bad, as we say, that what happened. And I think deep about that. And that was probably the worst feeling I had since being out of prison. I think of that because of Father's Day. It was around a Father's Day. And, you expect that, listen, I think I'm not a believer in all these holidays, Father's Day, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day. Listen, you should respect and honor your mother every day. You should respect and honor your father every day. Valentine's Day, do you really need fucking flowers to tell the person you love them? You should do that whenever you fucking want. Well, when my daughter said those words, "Where were you my whole life?" What do I say? How do you say it? I did it for you? No, I didn't. I was a fucking gangster. I was a bad guy. I made bad choices. Period. Very bad choices. Again, there's not a regret there because everything happens for reasons, I believe, and I am who I am today for everything that happened to me. And I think everybody is. I think what's happening to you, and I know some of you young people, and you're going to come on my podcast. Podcast is doing great. Check it out, please. But no matter what we do and whoever we bring on, and I know some of you young men, you have to get over whatever it is, no matter how bad it is. Now listen, I was abused by a priest. So that gets fucking bad. You want to talk about don't know who you are, you think, I started acting out. I look back now and it was very obvious. Back then I didn't. Then you question your sexuality, you question things. Did you like it? Did this? I mean, there's a whole gamut of things that go through a person's mind. And there's a lot of young people on this channel who have been abused. And but don't make that as an excuse for your life. Make that a learning lesson. It's not an excuse for me to hate anybody or feel pity or anything. I use it to try to help you. I use it to try to help another person I see going through stuff. And I'm not saying it's easy. And I'm not saying you just, put it behind you because Larry said put it behind you. No, I am saying these things on Father's Day. If I can give any advice to people on Father's Day, and that goes for the fathers out there or the young people who have fathers out there and the young people who have, experienced very bad things. And nobody is saying they're right. Please don't ever think I justify anything. People should be held accountable for whatever they did. That goes without saying. But you can't let it kill you. Otherwise, you're being a victim over and over again. And you have to turn your life around and change and make it better and show that didn't stop you. One of my biggest things I think I'm happy about in life is I don't have excuses. I am who I am. I am the most, I guess, I live with my mom. I take care of her. I'll always will, no matter what. I live in a little house. It's not a big house with all this crap. You know, I'm working on a cigar deal. Cigar deal's coming out. I'm working on a whole bunch of shit, guys. And yes, when you start making money, you think, oh, you could do this. You know, I don't give a shit. I made money before. Money doesn't drive me. What drives me is you guys. It really does. When I get comments or emails or stuff, it drives me. And please keep sending them. Larry@realitycheckprogram.com. Please send them. It makes me feel so good. And I hope to be helping a lot of people. And I do. I get some great emails. I really do. Tons of great emails saying, you know, Larry, you helped me save my life. You did a lot of certain things. And it helps my ego. Everybody has an ego. But I know it's not just me who's doing it. I know it's you yourself who's doing it, who figured out, maybe you heard a few things that Larry said or somebody said that will change your life. And on this holiday, on this Father's Day, which brought back a lot of memories for me about what my daughter said. And do you think I've talked to her about it? Do you think I'm mad that she said what was in her heart and what she felt? You know, my daughter didn't have a dad for the first 12 years of her life. I mean, she used to visit me, and they used to tell her I was away on vacation or I was a truck driver or whatever, and she had no idea until one of her cousins said, you know, your dad's in jail. Your dad was a big gangster. You know, and my daughter, like, what do you mean? I mean, you're talking about 10-year-old kids now. And it is what it is. I still got a lot of respect for my ex-wives and everybody involved, because it takes they always say it takes a community or it takes a village to raise a child. And that's true in my case because I wasn't there. But anyway, moving on, I want you guys to know that today's Father's Day. No matter what, get up and go tell your father happy Father and give him a hug. It'll mean more than you know. Out of the blue, you should do that every so often. But today, just go up and say, Dad, you know, I love you, man. I love you. I have no qualms telling somebody I love them. So just say, Dad, I love you, man. Boy, you don't know what it's going to do to your father. I'm telling you, you don't. And if you're a father, you know what I mean. And if you're a father and and you have your dad still alive, I don't care how old he is, do the same thing. Because there's not many times you're going to do it and something happens and then it doesn't happen, and before you know it, you're regretting things. Or you're really like, man, I fucking blew that one. And if you don't have a father, find that mentor, find that person that is like your father. And there's many of them. So find that person. Have a great day, everybody. Please stay safe, make good choices, and I will see you back here Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody.